Hi everyone, I'm Katie Collett, a news anchor with WAVY TV 10 and Fox 43. Thank you so much for inviting me to read today. EllRay Jakes is Magic by Sally Warner. Chapter 19, Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo, shouts Kevin 15 minutes later as he and I barrel into our classroom after school has let out. Look at all that food, dude. Some third grade parents were busy decorating the room during the talent show. They put out platters of yummy looking food and my stomach growls the second I see it. Lots of little hamburgers and turkey burgers are piled up high. Hot dogs have been cut in half to make eating more of them easier, I guess. And the sandwiches are cut in quarters, the fancy way, in triangles. And there's a lot of other food too, including a big bowl of fruit salad and a huge sheet cake with dozens of roses marching across it like a bunch of frosting soldiers. I have never seen so many roses on a cake. Everyone will get one with no fighting. Alfie will be so happy. I hardly ate a thing today. I was so nervous. Also, like I said, I was trying to keep my shirt clean. But forget that now. Mustard, ketchup, punch, frosting, bring it on. It's beautiful, Annie Pat says, screeching to a stop and clasping her hands as she looks around, all yellow and white. Like a field of flowers, Emma adds, her eyes shining. Twisted crepe paper streamers loop all across the ceiling, and flower-like, bouquet-like bunches of yellow and white helium balloons, helium, hover in the corner of each room. Maybe we'll get to bring one home. And you should see the real flowers. There's pretty music too, like ice skating music. Alfie is already whirling around in circles. Girls, line up over there, one mom calls out. We made a little veil for each of you. And boys, you line up over there for your boutonnieres. What's that? Jared asks in his most suspicious voice, because I am not gonna wear a veil, even for cake. It's just one little flower you pin to your shirt, another mom tells him, laughing. But you don't need to wear it if you don't want to. I'll look at it, at least. Flowers are okay, outside anyway. How do I look? Cry says, whirling around to face us. A short, poofy white veil sprouts from the top of her head. Me next, a bunch of girls, including Alfie, are saying, lining up for their veils. I guess they'll all get to be pretend brides during this party, at least, which is kind of a scary thought. There aren't as many boys lined up over at the boutonniere table, that's for sure. EllRay, someone says in a quiet voice. I turn around and Corey's standing there, my best friend. He smells like chlorine and his freckles look extra speckly, like they're waiting to be counted again. You're here, I say smiling. What happened to swim practice? Corey smiles back at me. Mom let me leave early when she figured out how much I wanted to come to the party. I don't know what she told my coach. I'll worry about that later. But I missed the talent show, he says, looking sad. How did it go? Okay, I tell him, trying to be modest. EllRay was great, and so were Jared and Stanley, Kevin says, appearing at our sides. Hey, he says to Corey, grinning like it's old times. Maybe Kevin can be friends with both Jared and me, even though we're opposites. I'm glad they didn't cut the cake yet, Corey says, looking at the food tables with hungry eyes. A couple of dads, including mine, are guarding the tables from all the kids who are now in the room. Not yet, big guy, the other dad says to Jared, who was probably about to dive onto the hamburger platter with his mouth open like a great white shark. Ms. Sanchez and the moms get to go first, my dad tells Jared, and all the other kids, including me, who are eyeing the food as if we haven't eaten in a week. And here she is, a mother exclaims as Ms. Sanchez enters the room. She looks as pretty as she did on stage. Good heavens, she says, her engagement ring hand pressed against her chest. You girls look adorable, she adds, laughing as she sees all the little veils. And here's your party veil, Emma's mom says, bringing it over. Emma's mom and my mom pin it carefully to Ms. Sanchez's hair, and our teacher spins around, showing it off to everyone. It's not every day a person has a wedding shower, Annie Pat's mother says, her drooly, red-haired baby perched on her hip. The children really wanted to honor you. They love being in your class so much. I like it better when people say kids instead of children, but whatever. Eat something, Ms. Sanchez, Jared begs. so we can go next, after the moms, I mean. Yeah, Stanley says, like he's seconding a motion. Please, he adds, catching a look from one of the moms. All right, you poor captive children, Ms. Sanchez says with a laugh. She goes to one end of the long food table and takes a plate. And the mothers go next, Stanley's plaid shirt-wearing dad reminds us, like he's directing a square dance. So they line up too. I'm little. I'm with her, Alfie announces, pointing up at my mom. Alfie is not about to miss out on any food. Truth. Us kids are all keeping an eye on the food platters. We're all worried there won't be enough, or that the kids who go through the line first will hog everything and run off cramming hamburgers and hot dogs into their mouths as fast as they can. But they won't get a chance because the dads are policing the table. Some of them are even serving up food with long, pinchy tongs. Don't worry, my dad calls out. There's plenty more where this came from. And pretty soon, everyone is busy eating and drinking at our desks, which have probably never had so much fun before in their entire lives. Poor desks.